Well, hello everyone. It's Matt here. And you know what? This is going to be my first ever figure review. I've purchased many figures before, but I've thought once or twice about doing a little review here and there. But then, what do? There's a big difference between thinking about it and doing it. Much easier to just buy them, really. I'm sure many people can understand that. And what's actually prompted me to make this is I had this in my hand, and I went, you know what? I might just get a review and see what he looks like, because I can't really see what's going on inside the old robe, inside the robe. And then consequently I got onto YouTube, and I really couldn't find any reviews. And I thought, have I somehow in my little town in Australia gotten one? Has this somehow come out earlier for us? I don't know. I do remember it. I do remember it being down as a pre-order when I made the pre-order. And I thought the date was further away than this. But got the text, toddled off into the shop, had to wait a while because I was away on holiday, and here he is. And I was unable to really find a review. So I thought, well, there may be some other people in my position who are going, hey, we really would like to see what this thing looks like. Jedi legend, this guy popped up. I was delighted to see him pop up in the Zing stores, which is an Australian chain. I think GameStop overseas, or they're owned by GameStop or whatever. But they were supposed to be an exclusive to, I don't know, Target or something. But they popped up, and I had been closely looking at the Mythos figure, Obi-Wan figure that Sideshow did, the 1/6 thing ages ago. And I'm just, too much money, blah, 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 blah. And I was really trying to back away from 1/6 at that point, which I effectively did. But I saw this thing and I went, you know what? He's got his goggles, he's got the same sort of outfit. He's, of course it's not a 1/6 Sideshow thing, but still, you know what? This guy, excuse me, is, probably the closest that these 6-inch folk have done. So you know what? I'm going to get one. So you know what? Here he is. For those of you who want to know, who want to see it, I'm using my very swish and professional setup. So I thought I'll give you a look at the box, because people tend to do this. I'm not really a keep them in the box guy. I like to have them out and have them doing stuff or standing around. But you know what? It's always nice. And look, it's a lovely little picky. I do have a lot of respect for the people who can create these things, out of a glob of gunk, whatever they use, and turn it into a lovely that's terrible, shine. Sorry about that. Very professional lighting setup I've got also, top notch. But and I've also got a lot of respect for the people who can draw something like that. I get a real kick out of that. I think, well, someone put a lot of effort into that. So yeah, that's why I'm usually a little bit loathed to throw packaging away. I do it, of course, because I, like everyone, have finite space. But anyway, look, let's open this up, see what happens. Well, see what happens. I imagine what will happen is that the figure will come out. But there you go. Figure of speech. Now, let's just open this thing so that you folk can see, if you purchase one of these, what will come out. That bit off, those bit off, little bit gone. Okay, here we go. You know what? I do kind of wish they could get better at giving us a lightsaber and keeping it straight. I do kind of wish that. I don't know. I wouldn't imagine. You wouldn't imagine it'd be the hardest thing for them to do, but evidently it is. So here we go. Oh, mind you, this thing is quite soft. So here we go. Why would we be trying? Why would you start with his lightsaber, Matt? Well, because of the first thing that came out. So yeah, I suppose I'll have to do something about that. Mind you, the way I sort of am thinking I'm going to use this guy is just going to be standing around, sort of gazing very purposefully at the horizon. So it'll probably be on the belt. But there it is. And I'll tell you what, now that I spin this around, see, I've never done this before. Well, I've never done a figure review before, but I'm really sort of breaking the habit of a lifetime and doing this as I open it. I've never opened something on camera, and I'll tell you what, I've got to say, I have not that I bought every Star Wars black figure in the world, but I do not remember them having that much detail on the paintwork. The little knobbly bits on the end of the I think it's the switch, they're actually gold, when other bits are not. So there you go. Well, I've got to say, that's a very nicely painted, if slightly bent, saber. So that'll come out, of course. So enough of the enough detail on the sticky out bits, even though that's what we all want to know about. Let's get Mr. Legend out. See what? I've just about said see what happens again. I'm not sure what is at root of that little saying. And look at that. There he is. There he is with his little hoodie. I've got to say, it's a look at that. Check that out. That's a lovely Ewan. I've got to say, it's a lovely Ewan. Hoping it comes up as well on the phone as it is for me. But I've got to say, yep, that is a very nice Obi-Wan. There's his goggles. Very nice. And I must say, I'm happy to see that he's got the what's the name? The neck articulation as well. So to give him a bit of this, so he can be more contemplative. You know, he can gaze off into the distance, but he can be a bit more contemplative. Going, should I put my goggles on, or should I not? Look very nice with the. As I first look, I'm going, well, I like a bit of foldage. Nothing wrong with a little bit of foldage in the tunic. And of course, what I couldn't see, I will now be able to see what I couldn't see before. What the belt looks like. What the boots look like. His little pouchy pouch. Nice bit of sleevage there. I do like the sleeves going over the top or extending beyond the hands. I've got to say though, I do have to, I wasn't even, because I'm so good at this, I wasn't even checking to see whether that was in frame. He may not have been in frame at all. What's going on here? Let's just see. Oh, now that's articulated. That's not one bit. So he's got a bit of turnage. He's got a bit of, he's got a little bit of, bit of expression in the hips. You need a little bit of that. A little bit of up and down. Lovely. But first, let's look at this. I do have to say, it would be exceedingly lovely if they could just stretch themselves a teeny bit and give us some extra hands. You know, these Star Wars black figures, if there's one thing that would really get them going a lot more, would be if you didn't have to have two grippy hands all the time. Would be lovely. You can have a little bit of forceage, a little bit of oh God knows. Well, even with this guy, I wonder if he can reach up and scratch his chin. No. Oh well. So a chin scratching hand would be a beard stroking hand would be of no use. Actually, now that I've done that, let's just go into articulation. Okay, there you go. Well, that's not too bad, I suppose. Be nice. It would have been nice if he could. I wonder if he can lift if he had a little bit more in the elbows, he could get in and sort of do the hood lifting thing, or pulling the hood back a bit against the wind. But you know, I'm looking at this for the first time. Now the boots I thought were going to be the the U-Butte ones that he wore in the beginning of Star Wars, I thought, but because I can't remember exactly what he wore at the end of the Obi-Wan series. But obviously it's that. So obviously over time, when he was cutting up meat for the butcher, he had very short boots with the rappy things, and then when he was fighting Vader later on, he had slightly longer boots with the rappy things, and now that he's wandering as a legend, checking up on Luke from the hillside, he's got longer boots with the rappy things, but the rappy things remain. But you know what? They're all right. They're all right, and it's a nice little sculpt for Jedi robes, of course. The sleeveless fashion that Obi-Wan is rocking. Mind you, he did put some sleeves on by the time he got to the original Star Wars movie. He had sleeves then. So his clothing budget did expand over time. He was able to afford some sleeves between the end of the Obi-Wan series and the original Star Wars film, which is good because that tells us that Obi-Wan, he did all right. He prospered. He had more of a clothing budget by the time he got to the original Star Wars, when he was a bit old and buggered, than he did when he was looking after Luke. And he'd just done all the Leia stuff. So there you go. And look, they're doing a little bit of this. They're doing a little bit of stitchy stitch to keep the hood down. And look, yeah, it does nice. It does a good job. It's a little bit crumpled or whatever. I don't know what's going to happen there. But I tell you what, it sits really nicely. Maybe just because it's been shoved into the package, but that looks all right. Nothing wrong with that. Bit of sleeves. The pocket, I'm not sure. I actually bought the SH Figure Arts version of the what's the name, Obi-Wan, that came with the two heads, that he has the final battle with Vader in the Obi-Wan show. And yeah, I hadn't realised in the show that he had a pocket on his thing. I never saw him pop a little chockey or an energy bar or anything. I never saw him put anything in it. Maybe he did. But yeah, so this one's got it, so he definitely used it. But yeah, he's going for the classic belt. So there you go. Look, for those of you who actually do want to see, what I suppose what I set out to do with this is to give people a look at this thing. And mainly, I've just rabbited on with utter rubbish. So what I'm going to do is yeah, you still can have a nice look. There's a nice look. There he is. Look, he is a very nice thing. How he goes articulation wise. Oh well, there's a nice split. Oh yeah, he's he doesn't mind bearing a little bit of the split, which is nice. So will be good if you do want to do this sort of thing. If you do want to have him leaping through the air for any reason. So he does do a bit of that. He will do that. He will do the splits. They always go about doing the splits, even though I can't imagine them ever doing it. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this guy is he's going to be, as I said in the beginning, he's going to be standing around stoically watching and wondering whether or not to put the goggles on. I wonder what the goggles do look like on. Oh, I won't worry about that just yet. Now, there may be, of the, one or two people that ever see this video, you may be screaming right now, put the goggles on so I can see. But I'll get around to that. Well, why don't I just do it? Why don't you just do it, Matt? And then they can see, and then you can stop it's going under the hair and all that. Oh, you know what? I'll put it on if you want me to. Let me know in the comments, all one or two of you who ever watch this, whether you would rather I'd have done that. But yeah, he's pretty much gonna stand on the shelf. I'm gonna find a way, whatever I'm gonna do with his hands, so he's not standing around with a couple of grabby hands, which does drive me a little bit spare. He can put his hands on his hips or do something. He does have a little bit of. He can do a bit of this, or yeah, we'll work something out. But he'll have let's put the saber on the belt. Matt. This is so bad. My review, not the thing. But I tell you what, and the way the saber sits, all the lovely, nice goldy bits, and the nice, knobbly bits there on presumably the switch, they stand out nicely. So whatever I'm going to do with this guy, however he's going to stoically stand, I'll have to have it so the lightsaber is out, quick draw style, be doing something. I wonder if he can even might do the whole thing where I might try doing the thing where he just sort of holds it in the hand, but it's still on the belt. Yeah, well, no. Anyway, so there he is. Just in case, for those of you who have not seen one of these things, there could be a reason. For some reason, I've got these things before many other people. There are a lot of people out there going, will I spend the money on one? I wish I had an utterly awful and unprofessional review. Your wish is granted. Okay, folks, enjoy. And I'll tell you what, he's nice. Whether you want to have him jumping around, if that's the sort of thing you're after, I don't know. But I'll tell you what, if you want to have him sitting there looking a bit mythos figure-ish, I think he's nice. Anyway, okay, folks, bye-bye.